Journey with a Cinephile presents.
She went to Neverland. And you can visit her anytime you like.
3, 4 years ago.
Everything in this room is eatable. Even I'm eatable. But that is called cannibalism, my dear children, and is in fact frowned upon in most societies.
Depp Dive, a Depper look into Johnny's feature filmography.
I think you dropped this.
Look what I got. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. And guess what's inside it?
You may kill me, but you may never insult me. Who am I? Captain Jack Sparrow.
Episode 14, The Libertine and Finding Neverland. Hello and welcome, listeners, as Jamie bashes her elbow, to
so bad.
Journey with a Cinephile presents Depp Dive, a Depper look at Johnny's feature filmography. This is going to be episode number 14.
Wow.
Right? And
We've done this for over a year. Sorry.
Yeah, we've talked about this back in December.
I can't remember anything. I truly can't.
That's fair. I am one half of your hosting duo of David Garrett Jr., and the other voice you've been hearing is my better half.
Of Jamie Frisch Garrett.
And as we've been saying here, we are back again for episode number 14 here, as these are two movies I've never seen. I've heard of both.
It's our Valentine's Day episode.
Yes, it is. And I don't know if these ones might work out there. I don't know. But we're tiptoeing very close to a stretch where it's a bunch of stuff we've seen. I've not seen either of these ones because we are going to be covering 2004's The Libertine.
Nope.
And then,
sorry, I was like trying to think of anything. Nope.
Then the other one is 2004's Finding Neverland.
I've seen bits. That's with Kate Winslet?
Yes.
I've seen bits.
This is what you've always, this is a big year for Johnny Depp. He had 4 movies in 2004.
I was going to say, the last episode...
Secret Window, Happily Ever After, and these two have all came out in 2004.
Oh, wow.
Most of them probably were made earlier and everything like that. But
still.
Yep. So, I've not seen either of these ones.
No. I've only heard of one.
I was actually kind of just looking at Finding Neverland because this is the movie I was telling you about that has Freddie Highmore when he was a very young boy. He's been in The Good Doctor, so you've seen commercials for that actor. He's an adult now. They're sitting on a bench together, and this is where people meme it, where it's the boy's looking very sad, and it's Johnny Depp saying something to him, but people will institute different little lines and everything. So this is the movie there. And I guess this one is actually about the playwright who wrote Peter Pan, which makes sense as to why it's Finding Neverland. I figured it had something to do with Peter Pan. Didn't know how it worked out there. But, yeah, I've never seen either of these. I don't know a whole lot about either of them outside of what I've literally just shared here.
The Libertine, the only thing I can think of is Selena Gomez's one song where she says The Libertines, which I think might be a band.
Might also be a band.
Which I have a feeling does not matter here.
Oh, this one, this one looks like it is. He is, I'm guessing, the Earl of Rochester, who was a poet.
Oh, it's an old movie?
Yeah, it's a period piece, yeah. Well, Libertine is French. And
I know. Is it in French?
I don't think so, because everybody in this movie is literally, American. Well, or at least very white, because we have, John Malkovich, Rosamund Pike, Paul Ritter, some of these people.
right?
No, that's John Ritter. Oh. Close, though.
Sorry. R.I.P. nonetheless.
Yep, so 2 first-time watches for me. Sounds like you've seen part of one of them.
I think.
Okay. Anything that...
I can, picture, or maybe I just know what the poster looks like.
I
know
what the poster for both of them look like. I couldn't have told you where these fell in his filmography until just now.
That's fair.
So, we get through these ones, though, we have a good stretch, because then we get to do Charlie and Corpse Bride.
You've never seen...
Charlie.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, we'll come back to that. Anything else you want to say here for this intro, then, before we cut this one short?
No, I think we're ready to get to watching.
Perfect. So let me go ahead, and I will kick us over to the trailer for The Libertine, and we'll be back to discuss.
Allow me to be frank at the commencement. You will not like me. Ladies, an announcement. I am up for it.
all the time.
You abducted me in a coach like this when I was still a virgin heiress.
And did you like abduction?
Passionately.
I'm come to train you in your acting.
Your reputation being what it is, I thought you meant something different.
I have, I hope, many reputations. How exciting. The royal finger ain't beckoning me.
People listen to you, Johnny. Elizabeth had her Shakespeare. You can be mine.
Then dance 6 naked men and women.
It's very amusing because in France, he would be executed for this.
I hand you a chance, and what do you give me?
A monument to your reign.
Those who do not like you fall into two categories, the stupid and the envious.
I wish you to be my eyes and ears on his Earlship.
I am his lover, but I am your true subject.
Life has no purpose. I am the cynic of our golden age.
What's he doing?
I believe he is on the verge of greatness.
When did I banish him? 3 months ago. Bring him back now.
That is it. That is my prologue. I am John Wilmot, 2nd Earl of Rochester, and I do not want you to like me.
And welcome back. And as you probably can tell from the trailer, we just watched The Libertine. This is from 2004. This one is directed by Lawrence Dunmore. This was written by Stephen Jeffries, stars Jonathan Depp, Samantha Morton, and John Malkovich. And I'll kind of get into that cast list like I normally do here later, but this is a romance, history, drama, biography, and then to give it a little bit of a subgenre, steamy romance.
Ooh.
And this one is...
That just made me think of cheesy, like, pre-porno movie.
Yeah. But this is from the United Kingdom, Australia, and the United States. Currently sitting on a 6.2 on IMDb. And it is over on Letterboxd as a 2.9, with our synopsis being the story of John Wilmot, a.k.a. the Earl of Rochester, a 17th century poet who famously drank and debauched his way into an early grave, only to earn posthumous critical acclaim for his life's work. So then, now, I guess I'll start here by saying this was a first-time watch for both of us, and
yes.
I feel like I've seen the poster, did not know anything about this one coming in, though. What about yourself?
Nope, I didn't even know it existed.
Oh, that's fair.
Till we talked about it.
Because 2004, that would have been the beginning, or would have been the end of my junior year, beginning of my senior year. Because you start, obviously, in the fall. So, like, I would have, like, but I don't remember this movie, like, coming out. I know I've seen the poster somewhere.
No, I have no recollection of it.
And then the poster's also very striking because you do have just Johnny's face looking like a...
It's the
British
painting,
gentleman,
right?
No,
that's the one that was in the background on MB.
Well, the one that I see is the monologue that he does.
Oh, that's very different than what I was picturing.
And then it's Samantha Morton in front of him, which is weird for me because we were talking about. I kind of know her from The Walking Dead, where she's bald, or from
very not bald in this movie.
And then she was also in The Fantastic Beasts. I think just the first one, as the mother to that actor I'm drawing a blank on from Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Ezra Miller.
Yes, where he's like that special magic user type thing. But anyways,
it's gonna bother me.
I can't remember what the name of that thing is. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't, but I'm upset. I'm a better fan than that.
So what were your thoughts then on this movie?
I love this movie.
This was actually really good. I'm
shocked.
We were both very kind of not excited for this one, and it ended up turning out to be like a powerhouse performance.
My only wish for it was I wish there were subtitles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we watched it on the server that we watched it on, only had German subtitles.
Which would not have helped.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes I struggle in the very old English.
Yeah.
And for me, that was just hard. Because sometimes I was like, I feel like I miss the meaning because I get lost in the words.
That's fair.
And he's a poet, so it's even harder.
Yeah, because him and his friends are very uppity.
And very witty. So I'm trying to catch up, and I feel like I missed some things. But maybe I didn't. I don't know.
I don't know if you did. I mean, I think you can kind of... ascertain a lot of what you need to from just watching their interactions.
This would be a movie I would watch again, which I feel like most of the movies so far, one and done is good for me.
My only thing is I don't know if I would, just because this movie is just so bleak and just so depressing.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
I was just very intrigued by it. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, I mean, to me, it's kind of like watching like Scarface.
I would never watch that again.
Stop it. Masterpiece that you just poop on because I like it. But like in that one, when he's like on top of the world, like his lifestyle is very lavish, and you're like, oh my god, it's overly gaudy, but you're also like, okay, like, and then you see his downfall. In his heyday in this, I don't like him, and that's why he leads off in the monologue at the beginning of this, is that
you will not like me.
And there's not one point in this movie where I liked his character. Like, the whole time, he's just a horrible human being. The only thing that kind of resembled doing something good is when Elizabeth Berry, who is the young actress that he ends up taking under his wing to help cultivate her into being a better actress, that kind of gives me vibes of Phantom of the Opera, where in that one, that's what the Phantom does, is he helps his understudy to sing better and how to commend things. I mean, this is literally just a horrible guy just moving through this world that he's in.
Yeah, I think I liked everything else.
Oh, I mean, I like the movie.
Or I can't decide if I'm just so entranced by Depp's performance.
I mean,
that I'm more.
Yeah. I don't like
excited.
his character. I like his performance.
Yes, that's very fair.
But I mean,
he's not a likable.
He's
character.
dead on that you will not like him because he is just a horrible guy.
Horrible person. He did say he died at 33, which to us is very young, but back then, is that young?
Not for royalty. Like, for royalty, it's young.
Got it. I guess we were talking, an earl is still...
He's royalty.
Royalty.
He's part of the court. That's why, like, he got banished before the events of this movie, and that's why Charles II, who's John Malkovich, brings him back.
Because he's royalty and very good at what he does.
And he needs his help. I mean, actually, the only time that I do need to... There's a part at the end where he gives that speech that ends up being in favor of Charles, his brother, to be his heir. That's probably the only redeeming quality that we ever got to see from Depp there. Like, for the Rochester character, is that he...
It's like I like everybody around him that makes you tolerate him more.
Because he finally did something not for himself. But
he said it was for him.
He did, but like...
It was a redeeming thing for him to help someone else.
Yes. And I mean, I also don't blame him for saying that to Charles. I think it's a little bit backhanded where he doesn't want this guy to feel like he got one over on him finally. I think it's Depp's, or I think it's Rochester's way of being like, no, this was for me. But like we said, like he literally helped him win this like thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anything else you kind of wanted to delve into?
I looked up some fun facts. There was only maybe 20 or so. Very limited.
That's actually a lot, but...
A lot more of the movies like for pirates. There was so many.
When you get a blockbuster like that, there's going to be a lot of them that is also regurgitating the same fact.
Just in a different way.
And then adding more information, taking away information. But like this movie, I think, is kind of in the middle for its production. So like I'm not shocked that there's 20 of them.
The one that I thought was, or there's 3. This movie actually came about in 1990s. They talked about it. It just apparently a lot of Depp's movies are talked about, but it takes years for them. They get delayed up in production.
Well, they go into what they call development hell, where like for whatever reason, like it gets greenlit and then something falls through, and then it goes back into just maybe it'll. There's a lot of movies that happens to a lot.
Yeah, so almost a decade, I think.
Yeah. And
then a lot of the movie was lit by candlelight.
We did say it was very hazy a lot of times.
So that's why we couldn't tell if it was the quality or how the movie was filmed.
Our stream was probably, I don't know, it's probably not high def. It's a little bit better than standard def. But I mean, it definitely has, I see what you were giggling there about.
Sorry, low-hanging fruit.
But I do think part of it is the fact that I think it's hazy on purpose. Mm-hmm. The outside stuff is kind of where I noticed it more. Ours was a little bit grainy. This would have been shot on film, so that's partially to blame for the grain.
I just thought that was interesting. Even so, all the candles you see are real candles lit to light the movie, and then they called it the birthday stick, and it was candles behind people that they would move around to provide more lighting. And the other one it was filmed with a single handheld camera.
Oh, there's a few times where I've noticed that it kind of got a little bit shaky, so that would...
I just thought it adds more...
I mean, it makes you almost feel like you're a fly on the wall when you have something like that.
And just the fact that Depp breaks the fourth wall...
To start it.
And finish it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was very impressed by this film for something I didn't want to watch.
Yeah, I was not thrilled about this one. The title just kind of, I don't know. I don't know why it turned me off, but I was like, yeah. But it's a very interesting story. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's actually something that was brought up in the movie itself is that Elizabeth had her Shakespeare, and that's why Charles comes to Rochester, wanting him to be his famous playwright that could almost save his... I mean, I don't think Shakespeare saved Queen Elizabeth, but he needed help because of... a lot of political things were happening where like they were running out of money. There was a lot of just turmoil. They just got over the plague, so they were really trying to find something to like win the crowd back over because they were starting to turn on the king. There's also a religious angle because I think he was Protestant and his brother was Catholic, so there was some issues there with religion.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. There was so much going on.
Oh, it was the night one that we were watching this.
That's fair. Did it take us 3 days to watch this?
Yep.
The last 15 minutes,
yep.
Robert. Kidding, it's not your fault, but...
It's time management on us, and I broke a light bulb.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that was yesterday?
Hey.
What a day we had.
Yep.
All because someone is nesting.
Yep. Trying to get chores done. Just get us back on track here, because I'm sure you guys don't care about our chores. Anything else you want to talk about?
Depp's performance?
I'll do the cast list then before we do that. Obviously, Depp. We've already brought up Samantha Morton. She doesn't do a whole lot of stuff, but I mean, she's very powerful in her roles, and this one, she no exception. John Malkovich plays a good king. I love his prosthetic nose to make it look just very weird. The Countess in this movie is Francesca Annis. She looked familiar. I don't know how I know her. Rosamund Pike, though, plays Rochester's wife. She would go on to play
Gone Girl.
Yep, she would go on to play more important roles.
I think
felt
she's terrible also for her this whole movie.
She's either in Clash of the Titans or Wrath of the Titans. She plays Princess Andromeda.
Sure.
But she's been in a good handful of things. I think she's a good actress.
Yes. She plays the weepy wife very well.
Yeah. We were kind of talking that might also be kind of played up by the fact that they didn't have a lot of power and you had to be married to have a lot of your estate stay with you. Alcock, who is the ruffian that becomes Rochester's butler, is Richard Coyle. I recognize him. He's one of those who's who type guys where he just appears in a lot of stuff as a side character. Never really the guy who gets like the leading role. Kelly Riley, I think a lot of people know her from Yellowstone. I know her from a British horror movie called Eden Lake. She is the actress that is in love with Depp, but doesn't...
Oh, the whore.
Yes. Well, she's not. I don't think she's really... I think she's an actress, but I think she whores herself out on the side.
I didn't mean it as a slight.
Well, felt like you were throwing her good name in the mud.
No, as a person in this role, that would be... She was an actress / whore in this movie.
Anyways.
Am I right or am I right?
Yes, sure. We also have Rupert...
And we have it recorded, ladies and gents.
Rupert Friend plays the understudy who untimely...
Captain Norrington.
No. Downs is his understudy. The guy who was hanging out with Johnny Depp's character through the whole movie and then gets attacked by the guard.
Sweet little...
Yes, that's Rupert Friend.
18-year-old.
He was in Homeland. I know him from that. He was actually just in Companion, as he plays a Russian in that movie, which is funny because he is British.
Oh.
You're talking about Jack Davenport,
Captain
Norrington. And then Claire Higgins plays the lady in the opera house or like the playhouse that is always spying on everybody.
Oh,
she looked familiar
the
too.
House mother is how I took her.
That's all the ones I was going to run through for that. So then, as you were alluding to, we can get over to Depp's performance, which I think we both thought he was quite excellent here.
I don't think I've seen such a range from him.
Yeah, this one...
I feel like he put in all of his quirks and mysteriousness and everything all into one.
It is interesting, though. He does do all that, what you just said, but he does it with such an arrogance in this movie that you don't really see in a lot of his other roles.
Well, I think you can kind of pick out a little bit of Hunter S. Thompson with the way he moves his hands, and then you see a little bit of Captain Jack with the arrogance and things like that.
Moving the hands made me think what you're just doing reminded me of Jack.
Well, that's what I think of a lot, too. But I thought this was wonderful.
Yeah.
And the actress that plays his wife, I also thought she did the scene where they're drinking and spitting on each other, and I was just like, wow, look at all that passion. When he first comes back to the countryside after being banished again. Mm-hmm. I thought that was just a very powerful scene.
I also thought Samantha Morton did a really good job. A lot of what she did with
being a bad actress to a phenomenal actress while acting.
Well, not only that, but also not giving him any credit as things go on.
Which is kind of funny because he loves her still, and she's just like, nah.
Yeah.
Which I think would be hard.
Well, it almost makes me wonder, though, how much of that is her being disingenuous, and how much of that, though, is that he hurt her and had hurt her for a while there, and this is her way of, sticking that poisonous barb into him, knowing that it'll kill him, emotionally.
Yeah. Oh, such a...
Because we do say things in, the heat of passion where we want to hurt somebody.
Absolutely.
So then, is there anything else you want to talk about with his performance?
No, and the makeup I thought was pretty good.
It's pretty spot on for what...
I had to do a little Googling because I didn't realize all of the symptoms.
Oh, yeah.
But, wow, don't get syphilis, or if you do, treat it.
I called that he had syphilis fairly early on.
You did? Well, because he kept grabbing his... I said the clap. Is that...
No, that's chlamydia.
Okay, I can't remember.
It's clap.
Oh... I don't think I ever put those together.
But, you said that, and I was like, I don't think it is. I was like, I think it's syphilis. You said it the first time, I was like, oh, you might be right. And then, when symptoms started to, present, I was like, I don't think that's what it is. Because I know chlamydia is bad. Mm-hmm. But, syphilis is real bad. But it's, like I told you, it's kind of funny because it's literally just a shot of penicillin to kill it. But at the time, that wasn't even discovered yet.
Yeah, I think my only issue is that no one else that we know that he's had... relations with was showing symptoms, and it's not a super fast progressing disease.
No.
So the fact that not one of the women...
Well, I guess, the only one that really would be an issue... The actress I could see, Elizabeth not getting it, I could see. Only because if he didn't have sores that were presenting, she wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
But we don't see her again, though, either. The other one would have been Jane, who is Kelly Riley. Mm-hmm. She was with him, though, when he was...
in his heyday.
Yeah, starting to fall apart. So, there's no way she got away from it.
Yeah, it was just... That would be my only...
And I also don't think Elizabeth and him had that many encounters.
That we know of, but...
Agreed, but
And there's no way his wife was, because that just...
They pretty much... Yeah, they didn't... I don't think... She was very mad at him.
Well, can you blame her?
No, she's definitely justified in everything that goes down there. Yeah, I agree with that.
That would be my only question. But
I do like the makeup, though, to make them look like these old-timey British dudes that would put makeup on and long hair.
It's illegal now.
It is not illegal now. So, is this going to overtake Pirates for you?
It is, actually. I'm kind of shocked because I had it in my head what movies were going to take performances, and I just skipped over this one because I assumed I would hate it. So
that's fair. That's why we can't assume.
That's right. It makes you an ass.
It makes an ass out of you and me.
I said what I said.
I'm actually also going to switch over to the Libertine as well because I do think this is a better performance than Secret Window, despite how much I love Secret Window.
Agreed.
I think I might like Secret Window, and it's one that's much more... I would watch Secret Window over this one, just because this one is very bleak and depressing.
Secret Window is not like a walk in the park.
Yeah, but I mean, I can handle that much more than seeing this dude slowly waste away from alcoholism and... syphilis.
That's fair.
I mean, at least in that one, there's a satisfying ending. Not just, man,
All right,
let's his go time to bed. Caught up with him. Anything else then you want to talk about before we jump over to discussing, or actually getting to the trailer, and then we will discuss Finding Neverland?
No, I think I'm good.
Are you excited for this one?
I don't know.
After what just happened with the Libertine, are you excited for this one?
Yes. I guess since I'm newer into watching movies that I don't know if I'll like, because you watch a lot of movies that I don't know how you sit through.
Hey, somebody's got to do it.
That's right. So for me, I find that there are other things that I could be doing with my time than finishing a movie I think is boring or
if
not
I commit,
something I like.
For me, though, I'll just say, I'll be quick with this, is that for me, if I commit time to it, I want to finish it, because if I don't, then I feel like I wasted that time.
And I respect that. So that's not something that I've adopted.
That's fair.
Most of the time, and sometimes I view watching these movies as a chore.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't like to hear, because...
chores are not fun.
That's true.
But it's definitely changing my outlook on films and watching things that I normally don't enjoy.
Okay.
So it's not a chore. It's just, I think I'm also 38 weeks pregnant. Yeah. I'm tired.
Trying to snook these in.
Per our daughter, Mama sleeps a lot.
Yeah, she said it to me this morning.
So I think this was more of an eye-opening film to maybe not be so harsh.
Yeah.
I
mean, I was with you. I wasn't super excited, so.
No, it was a pleasant surprise, but there's some movies of his that I just will never be able to get behind. But this one, so maybe I'm excited for the next one. I mean, it has Kate Winslet in it, which is...
And, young Freddie Highmore.
Yeah.
You'll know who he is when you see him.
Okay.
Like we literally say this every time.
Well, we just have to hurry up and get the next one watched and recorded.
We're trying to snook it in.
We got 10 days left.
Yeah. Then we don't know when, so.
All right.
Alrighty. Then let's jump over to the trailer for Finding Neverland.
Who do you belong to? Excuse me, sir. You're standing on my sleeve.
I might point out you're lying under my bench.
Do you mind us playing with your dog?
No, go on.
So sorry, my boy's bothering you.
J.M. Barrie, pleased to meet you.
J.M. Barrie, the author.
He was looking for the inspiration he had lost.
Your play this evening.
I think I can do better.
They were longing for the family they once had.
He died, her husband. He left her with 4 boys.
What began as a chance encounter...
Perhaps we'll see you here tomorrow, then.
...will forever change their lives.
James, may I take your hat?
You are not my father.
Peter's a different boy since his father died.
It's just a dog.
Peter.
Just a dog? With a wee bit of imagination, I can see the great bear Porthos.
Striving to be some kind of public eccentric.
Bang, bang, bang!
You should be aware, James, what some people have been saying.
Have you no idea how much your friendship has already cost my daughter? The boys need a father.
What are you suggesting?
Miramax Films presents...
It's the best you've written, James.
The story of a man...
What's it like, Neverland?
One day I'll take you there.
...who awakened the world's imagination.
Young boys should never be sent to bed. They always wake up a day older.
And the people...
I need to go on pretending with you.
...who inspired him.
You have a man who is a fairy, right? And this girl calls herself Tinker.
That is Neverland. Genius.
Johnny Depp, Kate Winslet, Julie Christie, and Dustin Hoffman.
You can visit Neverland anytime you like.
How?
By believing, Peter. Just believe.
Finding Neverland.
And welcome back. So then, for the next movie, as you could tell from the trailer there, is going to be Finding Neverland. This is from 2004. It is directed by Mark Foster. It was written by Alan Nee, I think, and David McGee might be the person who... I might have that backwards. I need to make sure, so I'm going to double check here. Okay, David McGee wrote the screenplay. Alan Nee wrote the play that this is based off of, because this is... We'll get into it in a second, but it stars Jonathan Depp, Kate Winslet, and Julie Christie, and I'm also going to give credit here to a young Freddie Highmore and Dustin Hoffman. This is a biography drama family film that is from a co-production of the United States and the United Kingdom, currently sitting on a 7.7 on IMDb and a 3.5 on Letterboxd, with a synopsis being, as I was alluding to, the story of Sir J.M. Barrie's friendship with a family who inspired him, Barry,
sorry,
to create Peter Pan. Peter. So, now that we've finally watched this one, what are your initial thoughts about Finding Neverland?
It's what I expected it to be.
Interesting.
To be honest, I had seen bits and pieces of it beforehand, so I knew it wasn't a play or a film, a Peter Pan film.
Yeah.
I knew it was about
I figured
the kids and everything, but I couldn't remember all the details.
That's fair.
I think I'd seen less than 25% of the movie.
Well, it is interesting now that we've watched this and Happily Ever After, so now you should not get those two confused about which one Kate Winslet is in.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, we'll see. Test my mind later.
True. We'll see. I'll ask you again in like 2 years.
I probably still mess them up. Maybe I won't even remember watching them.
That's true. That's
Indiana
true.
Jones.
I'll say, still do not remember watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, even though it's a classic.
I don't think I saw it.
You did. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of interesting because, like, I'm sure there's a lot of these that I've not seen yet where you have just, like, biopics about different historical figures that aren't that old, but, like, happened, like, a good 100 years ago now.
Right. And what I'm also realizing, when you have a mainstream actor or A-list actor, and then you watch their entire filmography, you start noticing characters they play really well.
Yeah.
Characters they don't. Like, this is his second time being a poet, but he's been a doctor, all these things. And I don't think I've ever watched somebody so closely. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see.
It's kind of the point of this show. So, yeah, it's
right,
actually doing its job.
Which is funny. Yeah. I'm finally understanding. Like, I was doing it for the love of Johnny Depp, but I'm actually learning more about different types of actors and when I think he's really, really good. Mm-hmm. And when I'm like, oh, I mean, he's a solid actor with whatever he does, but you can tell when the crazier the role, the better he is.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, this one, it's interesting. I think he actually might play more to his suit here than the Libertine, only because, like, I don't think in general he likes to play, like, villains necessarily.
That's fair.
And I think he likes to play more quirky characters, where his character in the Libertine isn't necessarily quirky, but it's definitely it's different still in kind of that respect.
Yeah. I struggle to watch him play. I know we're not supposed to be necessarily diving into him right now, but I think he struggles more when he's a loving father. Just because I think he shines so well in the quirky, random characters.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was so good at
here. Oh, absolutely.
And it's not even his family. Like, he's literally a big kid, and he sees his family that is struggling, and he just wants to, not creepily, but I can see the outside people that we have in this movie thinking it's creepy.
Especially the time when the time this is in the early 1900s.
Yeah, but I also think you could get away with it a lot more back then because, I mean, Catholic priests are still getting away with it today. So, like, but I'm just saying, though, is, like, not necessarily to take a shot just at them, but, like, this is back in the time where, like, if you had money, which they kind of do, kind of don't, that you could you can get away with a little bit more if you are more society.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's not knighted at the time of this event. Like,
oh, really?
He gets knighted, I think, because of Peter Pan becoming what it is.
Got it.
I mean, that's just my conjecture, but nobody in this movie calls him Sir.
That's true. I don't think I realized that. So I was reading it, and I said, Sir.
Which is interesting. I don't remember where he was at in the movie, but, like, they meet kind of a similar thing, Conan Doyle, who wrote The Lost World, and he did, I think, the Sherlock Holmes stuff, and he did, like, a lot of stuff like that. He gets knighted as well for his service in, like, writing by the Queen.
That's very cool.
I think it was the Queen back then.
I think it's been a queen for a while.
Until now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, like, it's kind of interesting, though, is that, like, there's people talking. And, I mean, the bigger deal, actually, is probably more of how he's ruining the prospects of the Sylvia character.
Yes.
And her mother has a real big issue with all of that because she's afraid that her daughter's never going to get remarried and that the boys need a father. And she thinks that it's kind of...
People are looking... see it from her perspective.
Oh, no, I think she's not in the wrong outside of...
an income.
Outside
Women
of, like...
didn't work, so.
Yeah, outside of, like, her mother being, like, well-to-do. And they're kind of just living off of that money. But, I mean... I get it, though, because this is definitely... Most people assume that was his mistress, and that's what he was getting out of their arrangement.
Which I don't think it was like that at all. Or at least not depicted in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about the situation. I get the idea that there probably wasn't anything romantic outside of, like, he cared for her a lot and wanted to help her family out. Like, I think that's...
And then I think that turned into a love.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think it was ever a physical thing where he was
Agreed.
Like physically wanting to sleep with her.
Especially then his wife and him were on the outs, so
yeah.
I don't think he felt loyalties to his wife.
I don't know what
she was already.
I don't know.
He had even said, "You haven't wanted me in this house for a long time."
I don't know what the actual real timeline was.
That's fair.
For the movie, it does work out that way, where she leaves him, and then he's like, "Hey, I am free now to spend all my time with you."
Yeah.
Unless there's something here that we don't necessarily know, I think he's actually a really good guy, even though he is neglectful of his wife. But, I mean, it is hard to be around somebody when those feelings aren't there anymore.
Agreed. How do you know that?
Well, I mean, I'm just... Stop it. But, I mean, I'm just going off of the fact that I've seen friends and I've been in a relationship where that spark is completely gone and you're kind of just going through the motions there.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, it almost seems like their marriage was a marriage of convenience where she wanted...
And they get married so young.
And I mean, assuming there's probably a little bit that's more arranged than how it is today.
Yeah, probably. No dating apps back then.
That's true. Anything else you want to talk about with this movie?
I thought it was whimsical and wonderful.
Yeah, they do well with creating that, like, surreal, like... when they're playing make-believe and actually like seeing how they're
envisioning it.
Yeah.
I thought that was very nice, like a really nice touch.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it hits you in all your feels. We both needed a moment after the movie.
Oh, I cried. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but I wrote it in my review today that I literally cried in this movie.
A couple of different times, like I just felt like it hit a little bit too close, especially when you have children who've lost their father and then... Spoiler alert, when the mom gets sick, the fact that we're having a baby within the next week or so made it really hard to say, how could Mackenzie or sequel be without a parent?
Well, this hit me because of that right there. Like, it made me think, like, what would happen if, like, I had to raise our two children now without you, or, like, vice versa. Like, that is what hit me in the feels, is just thinking about, like, and it's not even needing help, like, to get through the day. It's more of just, like, not experiencing the milestones with somebody and like seeing them grow, and then like in this movie, seeing Peter start to write, that's where it started to really hit me that like the mother is not going to be there to help cultivate anything for these boys, and she was there rock
because
through
she had
the death through the death of her husband.
That I struggled with that hit a little bit close to home.
And I don't know if you have a fun fact about the presentation they do for...
I quit, to be honest. All the fun facts were very long.
Well, I don't want to take this one away from you.
No, go for it.
It really hit me in the feels to find out that Julie Christie, who is obviously Sylvia's mother, the actress, improvised clapping.
Oh, I did see that.
That actually got me, like, I pricked up, like, in goose flesh at work reading that, because I was like, oh, that she got so into the character that she started clapping, and that wasn't in the script. Like,
and so the boys' look of shock because they didn't know how to respond.
Yeah.
But I thought that was so perfect.
Me too.
Because she believed.
Yeah.
And she was the hardest critic of everybody.
Yeah.
So that was... it makes me happy that wasn't...
Staged,
yeah. That
agreed.
She did that. I love when you find little tidbits about actors
doing
that.
And it's also kind of interesting just to kind of see how some of the basis... Now, I'm assuming you had read the one thing about... You had brought it up while we were putting our daughter to bed, about, in reality, what boy was actually the basis for Peter is not actually the one who the movie is presenting to be.
Right, it was a different son, so they're not really sure why. I don't remember which one, but they said they're thinking Peter is more the
one with the probably top hat in
young
the movie.
Adult, yeah.
Okay.
Where they named the main character after the one.
If you want my assumption on it, is probably going to be the alliteration portion of it, that Peter Pan flows better than Michael Pan.
Yeah.
Or like Michael whatever, like Peter Pan just
it sounds
flows.
better, yeah. That's probably true.
So I'm assuming that's probably the one with the top hat in the movie. I
have no idea.
I just know I think is more stiff and that would fit Peter because he's very just angry about his father passing away.
Right.
Which Freddie Highmore kills that role, by the way.
Yes, he does. He does so good.
Such a young boy.
He must play... I think he plays August Rush around this time because he looks very similar
probably
in age, and that's a good movie.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I think it's a good movie.
I always get August Rush in my head mixed up with Mr. Holland's Opus.
Oh, very different.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
I'm assuming so, but for whatever reason, those movies just...
Mr. Holland's Opus is...
about a music teacher who, like...
Yeah, and August Rush is about an orphan who plays guitar. He doesn't strum, he, beats on the guitar.
Music.
Yeah, I see the... kind of. I see it.
So that's going to be my excuse. Anything else you want to talk about with the movie?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, I will run through the cast then, as we kind of talk about.
As well.
Another one that really just kind of falls in line with a great cast around Johnny, Kate Winslet. I mean,
she was the second to sign on to the movie.
Okay, interesting.
Do you
great
know who
actress.
The first was?
Johnny Depp.
Did you read it?
No, I didn't actually. I took a stab in the dark.
He was the first one to sign on, and then Kate Winslet was second.
Because it just seems like somebody he would like to play. So that's the only reason I guessed that.
Good job.
Julie Christie, I know her from the British Gialli film Don't Look Now, but she was also in Troy as Brad Pitt's mother, the one that's the actual goddess that gives Bradley his powers. And she's been in a few other things. She's in one of the Harry Potter movies as some character that we didn't really recognize the name for. Radha Mitchell, I know she is a Australian actress who was in Silent Hill and was also in a giant alligator movie or crocodile movie called Rogue, based on a true story. Dustin Hoffman, legend. Freddie Highmore as a young lad, as we've been saying. We also have Kelly MacDonald, which I know her more specifically from No Country for Old Men, but she's been an actress. She plays Peter Pan in the play.
Oh, okay.
I've seen her. I can't think of necessarily anything outside of that. Mackenzie Crook is Mr. Jaspers, who's the usher. He is in Pirates with Johnny. Yeah. And there's also the great Toby Jones, who's been in a lot of stuff.
What does he play in this movie?
He's Smee in the play.
Oh,
you
okay.
said you're like, I know that guy.
Him. Yeah. And then don't forget Nan.
Oh yes, Angus Barnett, who is like you said is Nana, well. And he's the dog.
I think that's how it's spelled, but it's Nan. Like it's their nanny. Because remember, he's like, "You have me playing a nanny."
And it's like that's.
He goes, "Well, you're actually a dog," and he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because I think in the movies it's nanny.
I think you might be or Nan, right?
Nana or something.
Yeah.
It's I guess we'll have to watch. I haven't watched Peter Pan in a very
long time. I have not seen Peter Pan since I was a child.
I'd rather watch Hook anyways.
Hook is good, but it's not really necessarily the true...
It's not the same.
Because it's actually a sequel to Peter Pan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because that's like... Because Peter... We're not going to go too... We're not going to get too deeply into it, but the whole idea for Hook is that Peter Pan left...
He grew up.
Neverland, and he grew up to be Robin Williams, forgot all that stuff. Yep. And then they go back because their children get kidnapped.
Yes, because Hook wants a vengeance.
Yep. Which, I mean, Hook's actually not that much of a villain if you kind of look back on some of the things. Like, I'd be mean to people, too, if, like, they had an alligator or crocodile bite my hand off.
Probably.
But, I mean, yeah, I have not seen... I've seen Hook in college, because I got it on DVD, so I watched it.
I think I have it on DVD.
You might have it on... I might have given mine back to my sister. So then, I guess we'll move over to talking about Johnny Depp's performance.
Like I said earlier, a solid performance.
Yeah.
Is it my favorite of his? No.
No, but I mean, it's good. It's a good performance.
Yeah, you get to see a little bit more whimsical side of it. Yeah. And I guess I struggle watching him in those roles just because I've seen him in such other roles. Yeah. But I think he's a joking, fun-loving person from the vibes I get. Like, maybe this is completely wrong. It probably depends on who you talk to.
Yeah.
And I don't know him as a person. But I'd like to, so if Johnny, if you're listening, hit us up.
It's kind of interesting because, like, looking at this role, I would put this, like, in between Benny and June.
Uh-huh.
And just for the sake of having it, between that and, like, Fear and Loathing, is that you have, like, hear me out. I'm
glaring at him. Not glaring.
What I'm saying there, though, is you get the whimsicalness from Benny and June.
Yeah.
And you get the more, like, seriousness from, like, the sternness that you get from that, like, role in as Hunter S. Thompson. But, like, I put it in the middle, though, because, like, you're getting just, like, him. He can play it straight.
Yeah.
But he's still, like, quirky.
Yeah,
and then
he's
you get
a big
that
old
role.
kid in this.
I was also trying to think, because, like, Benny and June is also kind of, like, I think the next one over would be, like...
Crybaby?
No, I'd actually put... Actually, Crybaby's probably a better one. Between Benny and June and Crybaby is probably a better...
I would agree.
What I was going to say, though, was, like, Benny and June, and then, like, the next level over would be Captain Jack Sparrow, because he's still quirky as all get out and still weird.
The one where he was a dad, and they were in the elevator.
Happily Ever After?
No... It's where he has to do all this weird stuff in an elevator.
Oh, Out of Time?
Nick of Time.
Yeah.
That's kind of one that I thought
of. Yeah, that's actually probably...
Because he's a dad role, it's a little bit more serious, but not too serious.
Actually, that's probably even a better one, is probably Nick of Time and Benny and June, where you get the quirkiness from that character, but he is still... He can function in society without falling apart.
But I think he plays a better dad character in this because he's a little bit more relaxed.
That's also a tough one to compare, though, just because
it's so different.
In Nick of Time, like, he's being a good dad, but he's also being forced by corrupt people to kill people.
Yeah, and I think he's also more of a stiff, serious character in that.
That's true. Anything else? Or I guess if there's anything else you want to talk about a performance here?
No, I think I said it all.
Because I'm with you. I think he shows more of the whimsical nature here while he's being like a dreamer and kind of a big kid. I mean, actually, Arizona Dream kind of comes to mind too, with how like whimsical kind of this thing is. Not as surreal as that one, though.
Agreed.
So then, I guess we both have switched over to the Libertine. Is this going to overtake that?
Absolutely not.
That's fair. No, I would definitely stick with the Libertine. Even though he might have more range in this movie.
I disagree.
I think he might have more range because I think the Libertine is such a... I think it shows that he can play a serious and just depressing role in that one. There's not like a lot of... like I guess there is some whimsicalness, but he's such a jerk that it's hard for me to be like, hey, that's pretty funny. Like it's more of just like cringe
fair,
comedy.
I just think it's a better performance and there's so much more depth.
Just so much more depth. So then, anything else you want to talk about before we end this episode out?
No, I'm just happy we got it done.
Me too. We kind of snooped it in there, and I'm going to try to get this out next week before the baby comes.
So we're going to do 2 in February?
I'm going to try.
Wait, is this February?
This is February's episode.
Oh, for some reason I was
thinking we missed June, or we missed July.
Nope.
January. Jesus, I hit every J month except the one that it actually is.
Oh, so we're actually going to do this one on time?
Yes, barely.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I'll actually just go ahead and say the movies that we're going to be covering on the next episode is going to be one that I've never seen, you are a big fan of, and then one I've seen, I think, all the way through. I don't remember, but first one's going to be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I've never seen that all the way through.
I wouldn't say I'm a big fan.
Big fan.
I'm more of a... I like it because of the trio and everybody, and kind of the Quattro group, I believe. I don't know if Danny Elfman's a part of it.
I think he might be.
Because
I think he came up with the music.
Okay.
But I will double check before the movie.
I like all of that, but it's not my favorite Wonka film.
That's fair. That's true. Yeah. That one, his daughter's in that one, right?
I think son.
His son's in that one?
I think Jack's in that.
Got it. Okay. It's TV, right?
Yeah, Mike TV.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other one is going to be Corpse Bride. I think I've seen that one all the way through. I know in college somebody put it on, but I don't know if I actually watched it start to finish.
I own both of those on DVD, I believe.
I'm pretty sure you do too. Yep, so those are going to be the two. Like I said, I'm going to be watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory all the way through for the first time. I might be watching Corpse Bride all the way through for the first time. I can't confirm or deny that.
Scotch.
Anything else then we want to say here? Did you want to say bye to anybody?
Bye to our lovely daughter and maybe hello to our next born.
Yeah.
By the time we do the next episode, we should be parents of 2.
Yep.
Just shocking. Mm-hmm. But I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Yeah, that's fair. Same. Well then, I will say then in closing, I am one half of your hosting duo here, David Garrett Jr., and I am signing off.
And I'm the better half of Jamie Frisch Garrett.
Bye.
Bye.
It had been a wonderful evening, and what I needed now to give it the perfect ending